Hi, and welcome to We're Vancouver. Today we're at Little Conejo, one of my favorite spots downtown. Awesome tacos, great mezcal, tequila, and got great information for you too. They verse you on anything that you want to do. Real quick, Sheldon, hey, nice to be back. Couple weeks off, sorry. Switch it over to Jeremiah, one of my favorite dudes.
How's it going? On me on the other side is
Hey, I'm Johnny. It's nice to be here with you guys. It's good to be a part of this, and thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being a part of We're Vancouver and the podcast here. Really appreciate your just watching us, just being a part of everything. So over here we got go ahead. You can,
my name's Chris. Hi everybody. Glad
Chris.
to be here.
Oh, nice. Hey.
I think I guest host two
it's a star.
podcasts ago.
You're a star.
Couple cameos, and I tell you what, you're a fan
I feel like I'm
favorite.
officially being looped in, being the third, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, you can't be upset about it because it's a pretty fun gig, right? We get to go around Vancouver and talk to local business
I was waiting for you guys to do Conejo, so I'm like, I'm waiting for this one. So.
Well, with us today,
Mark. Yeah, Mark Wooten, chef and co-owner of Little Conejo.
Michael Dines, and co-own Little Conejo with Mark here, and happy to be a part of this. This is cool. Thanks for reaching out. And
thanks for having us.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I think I could speak for all of us when I say we're all huge Little Conejo fans.
very
Thank
much.
From the beginning.
Thank you.
You know,
for
it
sure.
was such like an original idea, and like the way you guys executed that idea has been amazing and such a big part of the Vancouver community and stuff.
When the rumors first came down about what was going to happen, correct me if I'm wrong, but this was formerly the cosmetic
School of Beauty. Yeah,
this was
Vancouver
the School of Beauty.
Yeah.
So you'd walk down here and there were shelves with all these mannequin heads.
I remember
and
the
stuff.
mannequin heads.
I have a picture from high school on 35 film, one of the Smith Tower, and then one of this whole side of the building, and you could see the old, I think it said cosmetic or something, and it's a fun picture. I have it somewhere.
It's kind of creepy though with all the mannequin heads in there though.
Were they in there for like many years?
Yeah, they were, and it was the same one.
And if I'm not mistaken, there was like Clark County CCTV recorded downstairs.
They did.
We've heard that.
They did, actually.
And I think I like helped with cameras or something. I mean, that was years ago, but yeah.
But so you guys got a hold of this place in
2017.
Okay.
Yeah, we opened in August. August 17th was kind of like a soft opening, friends and family kind of thing, and then the 25th of August we went full bore. I guess not, 5 days a week, and then just kind of escalated from there. So we're almost 5 years old.
How did that come to fruition? When did the brainchild start? When did you guys say, hey, I want to open a really good spot for tacos, mezcal, I mean everything, like all these really good traditional, great.
Yeah, Mark and I worked together at a place called Noble Rot in Portland.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah. I was the bar manager there for 5 or 6 years, and then Mark was kind of moonlighting from Notaguro, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd worked there off and on a few times over the years.
Sure.
Just cooking. Had a great relationship with the chef there, and the chef de cuisine, but still good buddies. But,
that's awesome.
Yeah, we I pour shift drink, and then we'd go out and just hang out, and I thought, man, this guy makes some of the best food I've ever had. He's working at a sushi place. He was operating a farm at the same time.
Wow.
And we just really like to go out and eat and drink together. I was kind of
So between front of the house and back of the house, you guys had it on lock. It was just coming together and making that dynamic duo of a team.
Well, I think we talked about it a little bit actually earlier today. Like we have similar ways that we look at our departments.
Sure.
So, we'd go out and eat, and we like things to be like in context and classic, and just pay attention to where things came from, and then try to honor that.
I feel like as we got to know each other better through that initial process, I really realized that he'd be a great partner, because he kind of had strengths where I had my weaknesses, and it just kind of started to become apparent that we could probably hopefully do, and this is our first endeavor. Hopefully be able to pull it off.
Yeah. So what was your mutual interest that led to tacos and mezcal?
Those things right there.
One more to say.
How'd that come about? Do you guys?
I think that's what it was. I really was like, man, this guy is studying tacos while he's working at this sushi place, and then kind of working at Noble Rod also. And I was just kind of fascinated by it. At the same time, I was studying mezcal, and I was studying wine heavily, and then I started getting into agave spirits in general. And we just kind of noticed that they were hard to find together, and but there are tons of places in Mexico City that were similar to that, and it was just kind of like, man, I want to go eat there, and I wish we had this, and I wish we had that, and then hopefully other people would dig that too.
And we were tossing around a couple other concepts, and then I feel like it hit and settled on what we're doing now when we stepped foot in this spot, in this place.
Oh, awesome.
In this building.
That's really cool.
So you guys had
When
that vision of like, here's what it could be, and here's what it could
just
look
looking
like.
out with these huge windows and big airy space, it was like, that
dude,
feels like the
this
right
is
thing.
prime.
Yeah.
This is awesome down here.
Were there any mannequin heads still around?
I think the landlord got him out of there. Yeah, I think he got them all out of there.
There's still two in the office, by the way.
It may have killed the vibe.
But it's still like a beauty school. There's still a lot of good-looking people in there. So
Yeah. So you've got, and you have the
Customer base,
the open
good looking.
plan. Like you can see your food being prepared back there, and it is a big, open, lovely space. You filled it with
Very
all kinds
bright,
of gorgeous plants, and so it's very comforting and yummy to go in there. And
I
sit
love
down.
those plants.
Some of the restaurants
Those are
nowadays,
Michael's
it
babies.
feels like you're closed off in your own little booth sort of thing, where this has such a community vibe with the open layout and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah.
You're dining and you're eating and you're drinking with everybody. Like it's everybody's here, and that it really creates just a really special vibe.
yeah.
Thank you.
A very, very
Totally
special
Even
what we
walking
vibe.
wanted.
by here, with
Totally.
the parklet, obviously now, since the COVID stuff and things like that, but it kind of opened up to like, now they're even walking by here, there's like a buzz.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I need to
all
go
the
in
time.
there.
If you want
like
to
I'm
see
missing
some
out.
smiling faces, come by on a sunny day,
Yeah.
and that's
Awesome.
all you see.
It's awesome.
I go for a run.
Smiling.
I go by the
That's
park
awesome.
and I cut through here, and I'm like, oh man, it's Tuesday. They're open.
Yeah.
It's like normally I'll run on a Monday, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be busy out front. And I'm like,
Yes,
I have to come across the street just to be safe.
Sure.
They
Yeah.
deprive us on Mondays, and those Tuesdays, man, we're just
Yeah,
fiending for
yeah.
those tacos.
There's no
I'll
room
tell
on
you
the
what.
sidewalks on Mondays or on Tuesdays.
So did you guys plan on Vancouver? Was that your original plan, or was it? Did you guys just kind of?
Yeah, I grew up in Vancouver.
Okay.
And I always felt like I had a core group of friends in Portland and Vancouver that were all going to eat in Portland, and there was this, incredible scene of restaurants happening in Portland, and
Yeah.
it just seemed like, why is that not happening here? I know these people that live here that go there, spend a ton of money, and then they come back here and go to a dive bar.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like I'm
Yeah.
sure they would just as soon stay closer to home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just kind of build some culture and stuff here, which you guys really have. I mean,
You
even
tapped into a good market over here, because I do
Yeah.
feel like Portland is slightly oversaturated, and that's probably untasteful, not the right
Yeah.
word. 'Cause a lot of people do so well over there, and they do their own thing so good. But you guys really tapped into a market where we needed some,
Literally,
got some street tacos.
Yeah, like we needed something. We were like, we gotta start eating
that's
something.
very
really-
true. Yeah.
quality stuff here, and that's what you guys brought.
Portland grew so much so fast and was all over like every Food Network and TV show
Yeah.
and everything like that. So I think what's happening in Vancouver now is completely a product of Portland.
Oh, sure.
Portland
Sure.
will always have a special place in my heart growing up here.
Yeah,
It was like,
absolutely. Yeah.
that was the big city, as
Yeah.
you guys know.
Yeah, we're pro Portland for sure.
They help us innovate a little bit, and
But to see, I mean,
The podcast called We're Vic.
we're Vancouver, yeah. But to see, and we've talked about it. There's such an idea of, I guess, business starters, like this self-starting kind of thing in Vancouver, that it's just been so cool to see. So these people that have these ideas, they're entrepreneuring their way forward, and then they just start these ideas, and because Vancouver was so hungry for that, they just take off.
absolutely.
And I think people look at that and they're like, "Oh man, it's making Vancouver a cool city." And Vancouver's always been a cool city, but it's making it that much cooler and stuff. Now we have so many breweries and so many coffee shops.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I moved up here. I think it was 11 years ago. And, have some roots in Battleground and stuff like that, and in the area. But my wife and I moved up here about pushing 11 years now, and back in the day when we go out, there was only like 2 bars to go to, so
Yeah.
2 restaurants to really eat at, and then we always just had brewed, which is great because you know, it's the best. But like that was it. Those were the only places we could go. There was like Low Bar, Brick House, and then as far as like restaurants went, like there
shout out
wasn't
to Brick
much
House.
going.
Low Bar's not around anymore, but shout out to Brick House.
How old is Brood?
We're 10 years
2013.
on June 1st,
Yeah,
but June
yesterday.
10th to be official.
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
10-year anniversary.
I know, getting down here, visiting you guys, Joey Nonavo, was he open a year before us? Almost exactly.
give or take.
And just
Yeah.
like you two being down here,
And I want
it made
to
us
touch
feel
base on that
we
too. Like,
could-
Nonavo
a
was
great
the
start,
first one
like,
I think that came through, and then you guys were shortly after that, and then we got places like Kindred Homestead Supply coming in, and then this kiln place coming around. The change of 6 and this little area, this little block that we have here, the change of how much it's gotten better.
Yeah.
For 10 years, Brood's been here, and there's been a lot of people that come and
And
go,
this is technically
and a
called the
lot
art-
of people that
This
I'm
is
so
true.
glad to see
It's
go.
true.
Is it technically
The arts district?
Arts
I believe.
district?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it has
And
gotten there.
it's shaping up to be
Yeah.
really, really nice down here.
The
'cause
fact that this block was so dead for so long,
So long.
before, obviously Nonavo moved in there and everyone else, but it was just blank slates for a long time. And now it's like, man, it's the most alive part of downtown Vancouver now.
Yeah.
It's just seeing everyone go from,
I'm not throwing
around
shade,
that
but
old town.
most of the destination to get down here was, Saturday, Sunday, or Friday night when you're sloshed and going to a dive bar sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's not the destination anymore. Now you
When I was
come
a
down.
kid, that's what my mom was like. You don't need to go to downtown Vancouver. There's nothing down there for you.
nothing good down
Yeah,
there.
that-
Yeah.
It's not going to work out for you.
Just trouble.
yeah.
Well, now that there is, Michael, tell us what we got here.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Neta is the bottler. This is an ensemble of 2 different agaves. This is made by a gentleman named Hermogenes Garcia Vasquez,
Okay.
and he is a bit of a rock star in the agave spirits world.
Okay.
It's from Miahuatlan. It's distilled twice in copper. 2 different agaves, barril, and it's pretty cool. This one is Mexicanito. There's an agave called Mexicano, and I don't know if this is because it was immature or I've always seen it called Mexicano. It's the first one that's ever been called Mexicanito. But yeah, let me know what you think of it.
What kind of notes are we looking for here?
I'll show this to the camera.
I always try to let people discover their own things that they taste.
Smoky, very to me. That's the first thing I get off of it. Maybe it's I'm not familiar on tequila, mezcal, none of those things, and or like this, like you said, double distilled in copper. Is that what you said?
Yep.
What does that even entail? If you can explain that, I have no idea on this.
Rowan,
Yeah,
got
so
an extra if you
When
want.
we're distilling,
You want to try it out?
anytime you distill anything, you're separating. You have alcohol
Guest
drinker.
that you're
guest
separating from water. Basically, you're concentrating alcohol.
right,
Most
purging the water, the alcohol.
Yeah,
from the
because
water.
alcohol and water boil at different temperatures. So the early vapors are pure alcohol. So then you cool them, and then that's your first distillation, basically. So you collect all of that, separating it from water. Most mezcals distilled twice. Most tequilas distilled twice.
Is the copper a good
stills-
that's what will help it separate kind of from each other?
Copper is like prime distillation like material.
You can control the heat in it
It's-
very precisely.
Yep, it lasts a
Okay.
long time. You're welcome.
And the stills that this mezcal would be distilled in is, you could sit it on the table. It's 30 liters. I don't know. They're tiny.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This isn't like a in the
Very
factory
small.
type of.
Very small product
Yes.
sort of thing. So it's very controlled, very, very
So
controlled.
400
by the
80 liters
family
is
or
this
just by
batch
the
right here.
Mescalero
The
themselves.
entire batch was 480 liters.
Yep.
That's not a lot.
Yeah, this
Pretty
is
minuscule,
So
yeah.
522 bottles. This was 374 of 522.
Woo. And this is 47% alcohol too, so it's pretty strong.
Which
not
you can
something you
taste,
would- yeah.
but it's not overwhelming. It
It's not
doesn't.
overwhelming.
It doesn't like
It's a good flavor
frizzle
to
my
it.
nose hairs.
Well, I love,
quite.
in my opinion, agave spirits taste better. They shine more
Sure.
at high proofs.
Oh, okay.
More so than like bourbon. And I love bourbon. I love some cognacs out there. But I think sometimes once they get to that 95, 100 proof, they're hard to really nose, and like you can smell this pretty hard, and it's not off-putting at all.
Yeah,
Just
it
my
doesn't
placebo
burn.
effect.
I don't know
Or is
any
it-
other
I'm getting a
spirits
little,
that do that. Like there's some even
irony,
like
kind of minerally kind of taste. Is that from the
100%.
That is
really very good.
That what you're talking about, I think it's like
after you talk about
cement, like wet
the
cement.
sealing process. I'm like now getting that, and it's like I'm feeling a little bit copper, a little bit of
100%.
mineral, kind of like I don't know how to put my tongue on it, but
I'm just getting a bunch of fruit and cement as well. What I'm getting.
iron, like
Yeah, like
by your
tropical
tongue,
fruit.
you
I mean, a lot of people get
Definitely.
like banana,
I was getting a little tropical, yeah.
banana,
God, you
pineapple.
guys have good powers.
I've been tasting it
This is
for
really nice.
So, Michael, when you talk about agave experience, that's inclusive of a whole range of different types of
Yeah, anything.
drinks, right? So,
you're getting into.
Actually, Satul's not an agave,
Is it
but
not?
it's not.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but
Oh, I thought it was an agave.
tequila is
Its
there,
own-
right? So,
yes, only
and
the
mezcal
blue
is,
lever.
and this is clearly a blend. But like, what is the classification strata for one versus the other? Is that based on how it is distilled, how the
the
stuff is
name
harvested?
that you put on there. So if you make something in Mexico and you put mezcal on it, there's certain things you have to adhere to.
Okay,
It can only be made in 9 states. There's a laundry list of things that you have to stick to. And then there's different classifications too. There's like factory mezcal, like Fabrica. There's artisanal mezcal, and then ancestral mezcal. Neta's kind of interesting because some of the stuff they've chose to not classify, you'll see on this actually. This just says agave spirits. And we have another one by them that also says agave spirits. They choose
you have
not.
to pay for that certification.
Sure.
yeah,
It
okay.
also like kind of puts you in a box a little bit.
sure.
And there's certain producers I think that they like that they're like, we want to buy his stuff or her stuff, and we want to.
Cool.
We don't need to pigeonhole ourselves into saying this is mezcal, because then we don't want to say, hey, you got to do this differently so we can put something on our bottle.
Wow.
Thank you.
And
That's
usually
good
the families have been doing
Yeah.
it the same way
Yeah.
for generations.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the rub that people are getting with the classification of mezcal and how this is happening. But I think it's gonna eventually shake out to be a really good thing long term. At least I hope, because there's a lot of people who are trying to loosen the rules in the right way and tighten the rules in the other way, and there's a lot that goes on
Wow.
with it.
So-
And I'm no expert by any means. I'm just
You guys have quite
a drunk that really likes to drink this stuff.
Yeah, you guys do have quite a bar menu. That's what I wanted to get to too.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that and like putting that together and what you offer here, especially for listeners that have never, been to your bar or experienced your drinks and
Real
stuff
quick,
like
what's
that.
your favorite dish that you get?
Man, I jump around a lot, but I think the fish tacos
It's
are
still hard to beat. I
It's
mean,
it's hard to beat for
you guys
me.
have great
The El
fish
Pastor are really good too, so I
The
jump to
gringa
that.
is a lunchtime favorite
Yeah.
for me.
The torta is
The torta is always going to be.
The Americana torta, though.
and that's
Americana
such a, it's such a
torta.
filling.
Let's just knock it off.
Yeah.
It's like a hamburger.
It's like a burger, yeah.
and I can
love burgers,
eat it
so-
in easily 2 sittings, maybe even 3, and
Yeah.
I can't argue it. I'm
What about
sorry.
you,
That's
Jeremiah?
all
What do you
for
get?
lunch.
I get the pesca. I don't know. Come here. I gotta honestly say, this is I am usually a creature of habit, right? And I'll get the same thing every time. This is one of the few places where I like to just
jump
kinda
around
spin
a
it
little bit?
around.
Sure.
Plus,
Nice.
you have specials and
All those quesadillas a few
Rowan's
weeks ago,
standing
or-
here off camera, but we
garlic
eat
and
here a
onion.
lot, right?
Veggie.
And the rotating veggie special here is super
You guys
good.
did that roasted carrot
Roasted
for a while?
carrot one, man. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Roasted
That
Get
carrot,
out
was
of
so
town.
good.
That was
Yeah, yeah.
The
cool.
mushroom one is delicious.
Quesadilla a few weeks ago.
I quit eating meat here.
Garlic like
I-
this big on
Yeah,
the thing.
really?
Yeah, I
You
didn't-
opened a restaurant with tacos and quit eating meat?
well,
When we
I mean, I
started
didn't,
it, I
I
was
didn't quit
running
eating
operating
meat.
a farm at the time, so my focus was veg.
So-
We actually named the restaurant after the farm.
The farm is Little Conejo?
The farm was called Phantom Rabbit Farm.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
rabbit.
But there
Conejo.
is a rabbit connection to mezcal that I want to get back to. But
The farm is interesting.
yeah, so we did. Now this is kind of jumping real quick over here, but y'all make your own masa to make your own tortillas. It's not only you did.
We did.
Okay.
COVID kind of changed that perspective for us a little bit.
Well-
So we sourced corn from New Mexico and Mexico from an awesome tortilla maker in Portland called Three Sisters in East Timon.
Okay.
Bought our corn from them. They taught me how to make it because I just wanted to do it myself. They gave me their recipes. It was like beautiful relationship.
Sure.
They just wanted to have like good masa, good tortillas out in the world. That was their only intention. So that's what we did. We had to have a mill and like a kind of a tortilla conveyor that we cook them just hours and hours every day. And then we had to think about labor when
Yeah,
COVID
mid-COVID, that was just like,
no, that makes sense.
it was something we loved, but it was like, you know,
Well, how many
a couple
tortillas?
grand of
How
payroll
many tortillas do you go
really
through in a
mattered
day?
back then.
Yeah.
And then
On a busy day?
Like, no, I'm
Everyone
curious.
do
How many
that, yeah.
tortillas you think they? Quick guess. How many tortillas you think they go through in a day?
A busy day, a slow day, or just an average day?
I have no.
Just give me that right there, because
Yeah,
I think
I know by
a
the
busy
week.
day.
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
say
I'm lowballing this. I'm saying
We can pull it
500
up
on a
for you.
busy
500
day. On a busy day. I'm lowballing that. I know I'm lowballing that big time. I'm probably missing that by at least 200.
yeah, it's like, it's like 500 just fish carnitas.
And we're going through probably right now about
On, like, Friday, Saturday,
7,000.
like, on
Well,
weekend
I'm
days,
ordering 4
7,000
tacos
a week.
myself.
Yeah, how many tacos are you ordering for yourself?
4
And
at
then,
least, you
watch
know,
the
every
lineup
time.
of
So,
those.
I mean,
But anyway, on the tortillas, I want to make sure that this gets out to the public.
Sorry,
we're
absolutely.
still getting those tortillas from that company. Same process.
Still locally sourced,
Everything
still
we
same
were,
process.
everything that we were
Sure.
doing here, but
Sure.
it just made sense.
Yeah.
We had to make.
You're just
we had to
letting
make
them
the
make
change.
them for you.
Yeah.
It's the same source material.
Yeah.
same recipe
ingredients,
that
same
you
thing.
even got yourself. Like they taught you, you're doing
Yeah.
the same exactly as you would.
You know what I like too about this place is you could see the food being made right in front of you. It's almost like you're in the kitchen and a part of what's
Right.
happening. And there's that bustle
Guess which
behind
one's
it.
yours?
Yeah, yeah. It's not hidden behind anything. You're in there, and you can see them making the food and the smiles and the people working together and stuff. And I think that's what really makes Little Conejo.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I want to
it brings
Mark,
that like
where was your
busyness.
farm? Just to
In Portland, close to Beaverton, like over Forest Park,
okay.
kind of like Germantown Road. Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're on the other side about 5 years.
It's a
And
gorgeous
then
area.
the intention was to try and do it and this at the same time, and then we got snowed in,
Yeah.
snowed under.
Sure.
And then a good old farm friend of ours, Carol Mollett, who is Sweet Annie's Farm. I don't know if you've seen that on our Instagram. We talk about her a
Oh,
lot.
okay, yeah.
Old farm friend. We get with her like in January and plan the whole year.
I think those carrots last time were from her. There was like Sweet Annie's on the
Yep.
That's awesome.
So that just kind
board.
of worked out a deal with her. So we plan in advance. We buy everything that we plan on in advance. So it makes it sustainable for her, and
Sure.
we still get to have the awesome stuff.
That's
here.
so cool.
Yeah. So let's get back to the drink. Talk about some of the drinks that you guys offer here.
That was a big tangent.
Yeah. Speaking of the mezcal, talk about some of the stuff that you guys make and some of the stuff you do. I know you have some taps and stuff as well, but yeah.
Yeah, pretty small bar program, but a lot of mezcal and tequila and some sotol, like we were saying. I think that's part of Mark and I's connection, like we were saying. I was doing all fresh juice. That's something that we've always been really adamant about here.
Sure.
And just like the flavor that you get from it was really important. And then even as we kept growing, it's like, well, how do we do it? But that tenet of like, we still have to make our own lime juice every day, orange juice,
Sure.
grapefruit juice.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff still has to be juiced in-house.
That's awesome.
So, we sell a lot of margaritas, but, this stuff that we're drinking here, this is stuff that I'm really passionate
Yeah.
about. I mean, this is the
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
that, like,
Yeah, there's mixed drinks too, like
Mark and I-
margaritas and stuff. You guys keep it very fresh, just like the specials on your food and stuff like
the,
that.
Yeah, the fruit,
I
the
mean, a lot of
specials up
variety.
there.
There's variety, and there's always something new. If you're feeling, hey, I like a margarita, but I don't want to get, just a margarita.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
come in and usually
Yeah. something
something different or fun for you, and they're so good about that too. It's like, hey, I want to mix it up today a little bit,
Yeah.
You let them know what you like, and these guys will
our
whip
crew's
you
so
up.
good. Our crew
Yeah.
is fantastic. We're just so lucky. I think that's the thing I'd say I'm most proud about this place is just all the different people and personalities and faces. And
That's a great thing to be able to
that
say.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's such a good crew. It's just
You guys,
and it
you
just
guys do have an amazing
keeps
crew.
getting
That's what I was
better.
gonna chime in
Everyone's
about is
friendly.
like every time we come in, it's like everybody's so excited to see us, and like it's cool. And like during the pandemic and everything, it was like we didn't cook at home. We ate out at all our favorite places, and it was like we'd walk in and it was like, oh, it's like whatever. Once, twice a week, whatever it was, and it was just cool
Pack
to
of
like
cheese is
come,
here.
yeah, come
Pack
in.
of cheese.
And, like, we get home and get like special like love notes on the top of our boxes from
Dude,
whoever was
the
working.
6th and Main
I love
drop pack where you get like a 4-packet brew.
Yeah, my
from
6th Street,
beer.
my Street,
Yeah,
what do they
dude,
call it?
man.
6th Street trifecta.
Some tacos
something.
from
Yeah.
Conejo.
It was
I mean,
Navajo
yeah.
pizza, tacos, and then beer from Bird. That was like that kept me alive during the pandemic. It was like,
It really
Yeah,
is.
it was
You're
like-
always walking around.
yeah, it
with
was
those
like
boxes.
all three of them.
The gram only
This is
day
the way it
first,
worked.
though. I'll tell you
It
what.
worked out so
This
well.
picture before, I guarantee you're gonna sip off that beer.
If you see Chris, he's got a pizza from Navajo, some Little Conejo
Yeah.
tacos.
I think it's the crust from the Navajo in your guacamole is fantastic.
Oh, there
Just
you go.
saying.
There,
see
shout
that.
out.
Oh, hello.
Wonderful.
Partnership
Yeah.
Like an avocado toast.
Yeah, it's
Really
really
wouldn't have thought of that, but-
It's like extra millennial.
Generally don't get pizza the same night I get tacos,
Yeah.
so I guess I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Doomburger's gonna go in on the corner. You're like,
know,
it's
yeah.
gonna be
I'm gonna be done.
Yeah.
I picked up a couple extra workouts in the week to make up for all this food and
I'm
drinking.
not
I'm
rolling
gonna
Chris out of here anymore, dude, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
It's hard to
I warned Michael that I would bring this up because I love the story and I didn't know this, but the connection with the bunny, I also didn't know that it was yours initially with the farm. But there is also a connection with the bunny to Mezcal.
Yes.
And I learned this story. Y'all probably knew this story forever, but I just learned it like 2
Like
years
me.
ago, and it's
I'm
freaking
learning right
amazing.
now.
Maya Well was a goddess, a native goddess that was in love with the king Quetzalcoatl, and she's kind of agave is her living embodiment. She was believed to have birthed 400 rabbits that she sent out to become the people of Mexico, really. And
Oh,
like,
wow.
that's the saying that you're drunk as 400 rabbits if you have a good buzz going.
And the rabbits would come back to suckle. And she's the embodiment.
Of course.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
great. I love
agave
that.
is like an idea of like fertility and
Sure.
long life, and yeah, so like
Why 400? I mean, I'm an engineer. I get hung up on these things, and I'm just like, Fortune 400. But yes,
401 is too many, dude. 500.
Yes.
399 is not enough.
That's not enough.
That's
Let's talk a little bit about your guys'. So you have a food cart as well.
yeah,
Couple, I
in
believe.
Richfield we
used
had
to
one
have-
in Portland that we ceased operations there at the first of the year. Our lease was up, and the one in Richfield was going so well, we kind of just wanted to focus our efforts up there.
Sure. Makes sense.
But yeah, Richfield has welcomed us with open arms. It's a really awesome community up there, and it's growing.
Where are you
up
guys
and coming,
located
for
up in
sure.
Ridgefield?
It's like Second and Main.
Okay.
so in that
Almost to the-
downtown strip right there.
Almost to the boat launch. Like it's
Yeah.
about as
I
far as you
love
can
that.
go.
That's awesome.
It's killer following that, like both Instagram accounts, because I'll see something awesome that's a special, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, I'm going downtown, and I'm like, oh, it's Richfield, dang it, and like it makes me, gotta go to Richfield, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But the same
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
happened with the cart in Portland. There was like it's like a birria, there's some kind of burrito. It was years ago, and it was just like, well, we're going to Portland for lunch today. And like I picked up like 8 burritos for work.
Yeah.
It was like just amazing.
Oh, you gotta do
Do
extra.
you do that on purpose? Like vary? I mean, your menu here has been quite varied, right? And you always have specials, as we talked about. But do you purposefully have stuff you can only get at the cart and all?
I thought it would be cool. Just
Yeah.
kind of having fun with the concept of it. It's like
Mess with Chris's lunch.
they kind of refer to this location as Centro or the Central, and then the one up there is we call it Little Conejo Norte, and then we even try to reflect the
Norteño music, too.
regionality
I love
of the
that.
cuisine that way too. So
Oh,
it's
that's
like
great.
Mexican.
Brilliant.
That's
really?
brilliant.
Oh, that is-
So I know if I ever am up in Richfield, I know I'm gonna get
It really
something new and
sells.
something different and stuff. So.
That's
I think the burritos were such a hit in Portland.
Yeah.
It was like we should just once we opened that other one, we tried to mirror the one in Portland, kind of like this one. But then we noticed things would just be smash successes sometimes down there, and then so that one was fun to just say, let's do a whole new menu.
I love that. I love that.
But with the same like proteins and salsas.
Right.
Keep it fresh.
Same
I love
DNA, but different menu.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
And
And
just
I
for
appreciate
fun
that.
for people who are into us,
Yeah.
it could make it so that they want to drive up there and go check it out.
Yeah.
The
It makes me want-
exclusivity. I mean, when you guys see a drop of like, let's say hats or shirts or something from a brand that you like, one of 150, that makes you that much more tempted to go and click and buy that, right?
Yeah.
Like this bottle.
That right there, that right there sells itself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You guys do have a
know-
great brand, by the way.
This is all
Thank you.
I love it.
Awesome.
It's really, really cool.
That's
And
Good point.
Opaque.
You got some really great merchandise. I
Opaque
see it
screen
all around
printing.
town. Yeah.
Opaque screen printing.
Opaque
Shout
screen.
out.
Yeah,
Shout
Dallas
out.
and
Hey,
Ty,
hey.
they do an awesome job.
Shout
And-
out.
I need some screen printing.
Ah, yes, Dallas and Ty. I like those guys. They're big Finlay fans too, as well.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
I think
Finlay,
they actually might do.
which is another local Portland company.
Portland company, big rap with them, by the way. Sponsored
Yeah.
me Finlay.
So that pod, we have a neighbor, the Sugars Barbecue. She does an awesome job. And
Oh,
then
yeah, Sugars.
Sushi truck just opened there.
Sushi truck, really.
Yeah, and then we also are outfitting a shipping container. On
You
that
guys have some stuff
same
in the
lot.
works, yeah.
It's on
Tell
that
us
same
about
lot.
that.
So we'll do beer and wine out of there, and we have to do some kind of food. So chef's doing some sandwiches. We'll have
Bacon
charcuterie
bread.
and like
Oh, yeah.
That's right. I mean, you guys
that
just
way you
delved
can
me
come
right into the question.
get a beer, a glass of wine, and then eat
Where's
from Norte
Charcuterie,
barbecue.
sugar food, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Sugars, yeah.
So that'll be kind of the anchor
Yeah.
for it.
I love that.
That's great.
That's awesome.
guys
I
are
love that you
big
guys are
moves.
still in that game too, the food cart game, because usually when a lot of places turn brick and mortar,
The staff.
they kind of just let that fall by the
I've been
wayside.
that's a
in
great
Portland
point,
for the last
man.
6 months.
Like,
But to see you guys like really
done.
feeding into that, and that's
Yeah.
like where you're building into right now.
Yeah.
So we're backwards because we did a restaurant,
That's what I was
and then
gonna
a food
say.
truck,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
then another food truck, and
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
and
Most
now a
places
shipping
are like, we
container.
got the
Like,
food
we don't
truck
know
and
what we're
that's
doing.
A shipping
There's
container.
enough money to make a shipping container into
I love
something,
that.
and then that's big.
You guys
I'm
are
kinda
constantly
curious
making moves, though, and I love that. You guys stay proactive about it. You guys find what works, what doesn't work, and you
Thanks,
are real
Felipe.
quick on that sort of thing. And you create community vibes, and it just you guys your whole game plan about going about this. You know, I mean, yeah, you stumbled maybe into this, and you thought, yeah, this might work out. You knocked it out of the park, and then now from there, you guys are making really smart, wise moves. You're
Thanks,
checking
Sam.
every step that you guys are doing, and I'm just highly impressed by it. That's it.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Yeah.
Benefits our community.
I feel like we got lucky with this spot. Like we knew this waterfront thing was happening. We talked to the developer like years ago, and we definitely couldn't have done it there. It's so expensive.
Sure.
Couldn't do it in Portland. Too expensive.
Yeah.
We were able to put together enough money and take a big risk just to try and score this
How,
place.
And
how
you guys
long?
are always packed out too.
How
which
long
Is awesome.
did you guys plan it before you executed?
That's a good question.
Probably a year.
A year.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's fairly rapid.
That's very.
Well,
You both had very well developed ideas.
I
I'm
really
sure.
thought, but we've been working in this industry for. I attended bar for 13 years before we opened this place, and
How long were you a chef?
12?
you could do a whole show just on Mark's
Cook.
life.
Yeah.
by
Not
the
a
way.
chef.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so
I know
you
about
wanna
his
talk
indie rock
about-
past. And
Your next
The Food
episode.
Network or-
I know his indie rock past. And stuff. I'm going to do a behind the music kind of deal.
Just real quick, let's just do the bullet points. It's entertaining.
Talk about your rock and roll past a little bit.
Sorry, Mark. That was my fault. You can,
Yeah,
you can blame
we
me.
meant to
find you.
keep it.
Lead guitars for Sting.
Yeah, I moved to LA when I was 19.
From?
Fresno, California, Central
Oh.
California.
Yeah.
To try and get signed and make it, man. And then just ended up, kind of doing indie rock. I guess right when a few months after I got there, I got picked up by a modeling agency
Thank you, guys.
and ended up living in Manhattan, spending a lot of time in Paris and in Italy.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
That was kind of the beginning of it, which will make sense with who I ended up playing music with later. Knew that wasn't going to last. It was like, I came from a small town that just got thrown out there and had to survive. Pre-cell phone. You know, landing
Gen X survives.
landing in France with an address on a torn piece of paper and had to like find my way.
Wow.
But that was really great for me.
Was that for Gap or what?
No, that was all the European stuff was like runway shows. I'm talking about this.
Oh my god!
You did that on purpose, Michael. You were
I
like,
had no idea.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe we should save it for next episode. Right?
Back to LA.
episode.
I ended up
just drink your mezcal. Let the man
ended up
talk.
getting into a band with that model actress woman Mila Jovovich.
Oh, I've heard
Okay,
about her.
yeah, she was in Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Wait.
But she had like a
Is this all?
rock metal, almost industrial sound, didn't she? Though.
She did. I forget. She had a project before we did our thing, and then ours was like, you know who PJ Harvey is?
Yeah.
I'd say it's kind of in that
Flagpole Center.
lane. Yeah.
Right.
Dude, that's a crazy story.
And then
Well, it's not over yet.
Can we meet her?
quit that band.
Is she in here?
We quit her band, and then did like the indie rock circuit for years, and did a one European tour opening up for the Breeders, which I was like a huge fan.
I love the Breeders,
yeah.
dude. It's great.
Yeah, came back.
Kelly, man.
Left LA after 7 years, and then made it up here and went to culinary school.
So do you do any music still, or is that's in your past? Yeah. If you want to get back in, I know a guy.
No,
Yeah.
enough.
That's
to,
fascinating.
That's
Jeff.
phenomenal.
Come see, come saw.
Wow.
Perfect.
I-
I mean,
So we are located at the corner of 6th and Washington right now. We're sitting outside, right? This is Little Conejo. We
Beautiful
got
summer
Michael,
day.
we got Mark.
2 blocks
is-
up from where I live. Or
This
down.
is part of our lovely normal walking tour of downtown between all of us that have done this show for a little
Yeah.
bit. And we can't thank you guys enough, man.
You know what I appreciate about you? You're wearing a Relevant hat, which we did a one with Relevant. We've done a podcast with $4 too with Jared, and I know you guys are close too.
Yeah.
Jared's an amazing guy.
Yep.
And we do have an announcement to make too
it's Jetty. Good
about we're
Yeah,
having
very
a get together, kind of like the same thing we did in January, on August 6th at Lewin. A bunch of different bands sponsoring $4, and yeah, it's going to be an amazing time too. So
it's hot August summers. I'll tell you what.
Hot
man.
August summer
that's what
nights,
it's called. Hot August nights, isn't it?
Something.
I think it's going to be something
You'll
like
hear
that.
it, something
You
like
will
that.
see the
It's gonna be hot.
posters.
You'll see
out
the
there, presumably
But please-
on the windows of Little Conejo.
If you missed the last one, please be a part of this one too. So.
I'm trying to get Jared to be my bar back for an event here.
Oh, really?
A mezcal tasting. So Jared, if you watch this, you're on the hook.
Talk about the busiest guy in the history of the world. And every time I see Jared, he's got like 18 things he's in the middle of doing.
That's
Oh,
really funny, actually.
Well, it's
Signed up for it. I'm just
Yeah.
yet another example of the great people of downtown Vancouver who have endless energy and are doing good things
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you, sir.
Nah,
If you're going to be a good person, you get a lot of responsibilities, so sign up for it.
I think one thing I love about Vancouver is one that, like I said, the spirit of like the entrepreneurial spirit that's happening here. Everyone is always forward-thinking, forward-moving. No one's okay with just like letting it be. Everyone's continuously doing something, and even you guys are doing more stuff. You know, you guys moved up
It's
to
very
Richfield.
optimistic.
Very optimistic. No one's.
And supportive, I would say. Like,
And supportive.
I think everybody is so
Back to the comment,
example
you're
of it
wearing
right
that
here.
hat,
Yeah.
you know.
so
like,
supportive with one another. I think, like you said earlier, you know, like we want really cool stuff. So if
Yeah.
you're doing something really cool, people are like, "Gosh, do you need help? Like, how can I pitch in?"
Yeah.
And it's a
The
really
local
cool thing to
business
be a part
owners
of.
are definitely non-stagnant down here. They're constantly moving to see how they can better their business, the community, and or make it a more enjoyable experience for everybody. And it shows.
The way businesses just embrace each other and support each other down here, I think, is beyond anything that you see in Portland. there is that in Portland, but I think down here it's just like we're all in this together, especially since the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
We're all in this together. We're all doing this together. We all want
Y'all
each other to
navigated
win.
it very well.
Yeah.
Well, it's just thanks to the community and all the people down here.
Yeah,
you know,
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah. Well, if you want to check out some good tacos, some
You got
good.
the-
Oh yeah, I want to pass these out too.
I better finish this before I do
Yeah,
that.
this
It's
is-
gonna ruin
this
my
is a
classic.
gonna ruin my
Is
mezcal.
Is this?
that's what's going on here. But
An
So
Underbird.
have you ever had an Underbird?
I have.
Yeah,
It's a
they're a little rough. But
tradition on the
I
show.
love them.
just a tradition that we do at the end of every.
I was gonna say that's what I was gonna ask if it was a tradition.
it is.
Do I need to guest drink again?
No.
Yes,
Yeah, you
yes.
can guest drink.
Yeah.
Jump in here.
Twist my arm.
Ladies and gentlemen.
This seems like a
This round
sin right
roast.
here. Just let
I
the
was
camera
gonna
see
say
it. This is a sin.
I'm gonna save that so I can chase it down with
Oh,
beautiful
man.
agave spirit. Just
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
It's good for me. I had a
You
big
either
meal-
love these or hate these.
I had a big
but-
meal earlier, so
Hey, I just want to thank you guys so much and thank Little Conejo for
Very
having
much.
us. If you want to check out, like I said, some great tacos, great food. You know, you mentioned a bakery too that I wanted to shout out before we
Veracruz Bay. That's who makes our Tolera, the rolls for our tortas.
Cordes. So Veracruz Bay,
Felipe
thank you
just
guys
dropped them
so
off,
much.
and such great service from those guys, and they're super talented.
Yeah.
You can look them up on Google
I
too. You
definitely
can
wanna-
call in an order. They're really prompt about it. They
We
do
talk-
a fucking
You
killer
guys work
job.
with them
Do it
too?
all the time, by the
Shell?
way.
You guys work with them too?
What's up?
You guys work with them too?
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm not the bakery. My apologies.
I was gonna
Getting
say.
back to Conejo.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Calling
Gotcha,
my order
gotcha,
all the
gotcha.
time. They do a
I was
great
like,
job. They're
shoot.
so prompt about it.
Yeah.
Just saying, look them up on
Yeah.
Google. Fine. Oh,
And you guys do
got 'em.
catering and stuff like that too. So big orders, small orders, everything in between, kind of deal.
Yeah, that's a part of the business that's seriously ramped up to a point now
Right.
where like we really have to define it. And, but again, it's just like
You guys do catering. Sorry, we're
Yeah.
trying to wrap it up. But you guys do like catering for like weddings and stuff like that too, or
we've done some stuff off-site where we provided service, but that we kind of paused that because we don't have staff
Mostly kinda
for
pick
that.
up.
I think we were kind of there's such demand for it. We're like, okay,
Sure.
let's slow down. Let's actually figure out how to do this instead of
Pretty much a
You guys
separate
are going to
business.
half-ass it, so to have the full staffing to be able to pull it off the way you guys want to is going to be a little bit rough at the time.
we're just happy people like us because we weren't certain that was going to happen in the beginning. So then now it's like, okay, let's slow down. Let's actually plan this out. At first, it was like, yes, we'll do that. Yes, we'll go there. Yes, yes,
Same,
yes.
yes, yeah.
So
We were not
a
just
good,
like
a good
you were
place to
loved
be.
down
Very
here.
fortunate.
Well,
Awesome. It's been
here's
great getting to
here's
know
to
you
good
guys
fortune
over the years.
of Little Conejo and everything that you guys do. We appreciate you
Love
being
you
a
guys
part
so
of our
much.
community.
Thank you so
Come
much.
by
Thank
and
you. Thanks for
good
having
food
us.
and drinks.
Salute.
Salute. Cheers to you guys. Thank you for watching our podcast again or listening to our podcast again. We love you guys. Got more coming in the future. Don't forget August 6th, we're doing a live show. Tons of bands at Lewitt, and be there or be square. So